Sup? Welcome to the Anarchy Analysis teamfight breakdown turned VOD review. We're covering XL Koi. That was our match of the week for week 1. Obviously, we couldn't exactly cover it because it hadn't happened last weekend. So, we covered the Vitality game. Now we're just catching up to things. And we're going into draft immediately. I'm going to be brutally honest, the drafting here should be quite interesting because the meta right now, I feel, is quite open in the top side of the map and very open mid. It's just a very interesting, available picks for the meta. And XL banning Caitlyn Sedge, not allowing that tank that Koi or Marang went for in game 1. It's very nice to see. Koi, though, banning the Ornn. I mean, Odo throughout last year did play quite a bit of Ornn for the Rogue squad. He played it at Worlds and everything for that long-range engage. But in my opinion, the current meta, Ornn sits outside of it. And the only time I've seen it being played was, TSM played it. And got a win with it, though. But TSM this year have been all about drafting for late and scaling and beating the opponents. That's been their style. But the openness of Koi's draft, their red side drafting is very interesting because they did this against, who was it? Yesterday. Basically, who they played yesterday are Heretics. They ban the Rise, they leave open the Yuumi and the Zeri, and essentially they go for something else. They didn't go for Kalista yesterday, they went for Ashe? I don't remember their draft yesterday. That's weird because how they drafted yesterday was very meh. I do feel it was against the grain in the meta, I felt personally. So I'm just gonna quickly look at their draft yesterday because as a whole, Koi have been intriguing with what they pick, and that's sort of coming down to how they do pick ban. Personally, their pool of picks is very juicy because they can do a lot with it. They went yesterday for Sivir Yuumi. Yeah, that's what they went for. It's intriguing because they don't tend to favor the actual Zeri, but this Soraka Kalista lane that they go for has become trademarked with them. Going into, though, Illusion Nami, I feel that early game, that Lucian's going to harass and poke out the Kalista very, very effectively. And the thing is, Kalista is a champion I feel is favorable early game. And late game, she starts to fall off because of the closeness she needs to be to her opposition. As for the rest of the draft, I'm surprised Odo locked in a Renekton with Cassante up and Fiora's up. Going for Renekton early kind of is a bit of a fall off because he's looking to be counterpicked here very heavily by a carry top player in Shigenda. So the likes of, say, a GP or a Fiora could come out. Jax is also up and available right now. And the rest of the pool, I think Koi, in the second ban phase, have the advantage over what they can pick up here. Because you're realistically looking at Xerxes. What did he find success on last year? Well, it was his Wukong. That getting banned out is pretty easy. I don't know any other good jungle picks that he went for last year. And as such, it's kind of a yikes overall for XL's jungle, which they should realistically lock in at 4. And then number 5, their mid laner. Akali is up and available. That would be how I feel would be where we head towards. Corki is out in the meta, but would be more ideal than anything else. But Vi is a lot of lockup. That does hint to me towards more an Akali pick, because you lock down a target with the Assault and Battery, and you just get some precision, perfect executions out. This is how I feel XL really should go for. Especially with a lot of dive. I'm a bit of a yikes with that Ahri. Ahri is slightly out of meta. But the rest of this Koi draft is... So the meta right now is very up in the air from what I've seen in the LEC. A lot of different picks can come through. So, top lane, it's mainly Cassante, Jax, Fiora. Jungle, Maokai is there, Sedge is there, Vi. Elise is starting to creep in. It was big in the LCS week 1, but here in the LEC, you realistically haven't seen it until this weekend. That's when it's first been seen. Mid lane, it's mainly Azir, Ryze, Victor. But Kassadin Ahri is a different toss of the coin, shall we say. It's a different side. It's a unknown mentality. And then bot lane is Caitlyn's, Lux's for one side. Nami, Lucian, Zariyumi, Lulu is there. It's a lot more enchanter based and a lot more scaling and sieging in bot lanes right now. But as a whole, I think, looking at these two drafts, we'll pan back to the drafts. Gonna be honest, it favors Rogue or Koi here. They've got the better scaling overall. And if XL want to win this, they need to isolate that Kalista. Pick her off before she can pull them stacks of Rend out. And hopefully we see a fight win for one of these teams. I mean, it should be close. It's just funny that we see G2 fans chanting for XL, considering Koi demolished them in the final last year. Gonna be brutally honest, the light show kind of lackluster this year. Obviously, I use it in my videos last year when we did the teamfight breakdowns, but considering we moved over to a streaming style, we're not actually seeing them as effectively as they were last year. So, looking at the start of the map, just the Fan 5. Everyone is spread out across the rift. 3 bot side for Koi. 3 top for XL, who are trying to get harassed. Interesting to see the Ahri start W here. If they were going to go really aggressive onto Malrang there, she would have started Charm. But obviously, they're going to get that ward down. They know he's going to start up on that top side. Malrang, as a jungler, this year has been doing some very interesting jungle camp starts. He's been starting on Raptors at least 2 to 3 games this year. He starts there, wraps around to his wolves, takes his entire blue side quadrant, then wraps back up to the red buff, knowing the ward will have dissipated, takes that, and then he'll look to try and gank up top side and get Shigenda ahead of Odo in a matchup that arguably favors Aatrox the longer the game goes on. So, excelling his top lane is kind of what I expect to see. Now, as for the actual other side of the matchup, Xerxes, he's going to full clear bottom red and then roam up to top side, clear that. And the way he's doing this is to try and match the aggression out of Malrang early. He expects Malrang to go for this sort of wraparound play, and we're actually going to see Xerxes immediately cheat up through the mid lane, going to try and contest this red buff. This is actually really nice from XL, because they know Malrang has kind of left. He's gonna technically be in a bit of a different situation, and this is actually good from XL. That forces Malrang to skip red still, not get that buff off, and it also kind of forces a bit more pressure as a whole. But with junglers pathing up topside, it does technically mean we see a free open bot side where no pressure is getting put down. However, topside, the pressure's there as early level 2. Yikes for Comp, he's getting almost taken out. Okay. Yeah, we need to watch this fight again, because this is interesting. I think XL have misplayed this right now. Yeah, we'll have a watch of this again. So, all the way back to the start. Here. So, bot side. Clearly what's happened is XL have probably saw Koi go in that brush thinking, oh, they're going to back here. They've pushed a wave up. And so Bubble comes through, misses. XL now have no lockup. And you look at where they are. To get back to turret, it's a hard path because you're going to have to fight Comp. He will just auto attack, auto attack, auto attack, auto attack. Enough stacks in, QE, boom, you're dead. But we watch this. Patrick uses his E on the minions. He's caught in the minion wave here. So he's got no poke put down onto Comp. He gets an auto off with the ebb and flow. That chunks Comp. Bear in mind, this is no longer Electrocute Nami. That fell out of meta, and it's Summoner Airy. So the Airy proc put onto Patrick, and then he's just like not able to do enough damage. He goes through with a dash, gets his 2 autos off. Realistically speaking, if he had his E here, he'd execute off Comp. But the silence comes through from Trimby, forcing the heal out. And that... Wait, the heal's not used on the side, but he got a heal. But essentially, heal forces Patrick to run out of the silence area. So now Patrick is technically out the fight. Well, technically out. He isn't. He just gets out of it. He's forced to run away, which means Comp can auto attack in. Trimby gets a free W off. Flash. And I believe that was Rend as well. So we'll watch this quickly. Yeah, there is a heal. So, throws the spear in. Rend. Flash. Not enough damage to kill Patrick, who did misplay it, we'll be honest. The 2 autos come through, but I believe the heal from Conqueror, not Conqueror. Heal from Triumph saves him. It was Trimby's heal as well. Yeah, there was a heal used. Yeah. honestly, that was a huge misplay from XL in the bot side. Comp getting away as well. So this is another misplay. Targamas. So because Comp walks into this brush, it means he can't auto attack him. And then now he steps forward trying to execute into Trimby. It means that spears get thrown. It's the Soraka W's keeping him alive. The chase down, yeah. It's a very well played fight from Koi, but pretty badly played from XL overall. Just unlucky that you mess up an E. Personally, he should have dashed first there and then E'd. But no, dash, auto, E, auto, Q, auto. Would have been probably the best way for Patrick to handle that fight. However, he did not, and as such, Comp got the kills, and so did Trimby. Xerxes is kind of caught out here. Yeah. Never mind. Gonna get away. Good steal there from Maorang. Obviously, he saw him on the buff. Good play. Koi controlling early. Very nicely. Up to 1k gold right now. Okay, we're gonna watch the bot fight again. Good play from Koi. Damage. Yeah. Patrick didn't auto Comp. He auto-autoed the Soraka as well. If, in theory, he had flash, he could have flash auto-autoed the Callista in the chase down and actually have got the kill. That would have been probably a different fight. That was definitely misplayers. That's Hex Flash Maokai. Yeah, realistically speaking... So this is interesting. Maorang with Hex Flash is a very intriguing thing. He did it yesterday on... I forgot what he played. Did he play Elise? Basically, he plays Hex Flash everything. And it's so creative because it makes his pathing so much more unpredictable. And at this point, you look at how Koi's draft is set up to scale late game as well as have an early game threat in the bot side. Realistically speaking, using that Hex Flash to get into positions like behind the Dragon Pit wall and force a gank, because Koi have vision in that Tribrush that XL do not. So yeah, in theory, Maokai could just come over the wall. He hasn't got ult yet, but once he does, he can come over, put that down, twist in advance, boom. That's probably a kill on the turret. Now, another good thing I like about Maokai in this meta is the amount of vision control he gets with them saplings. He just puts them down in brushes, and that area becomes controlled. And it's funny, it doesn't actually count towards vision score, but yeah. So, we haven't realistically talked topside. Renekton early game versus Aatrox is always a Renekton favored matchup purely because of the stun advantage, I feel, and the chase down that Renekton gets slightly over this Aatrox. Is equal in certain aspects, but also slightly ahead for the Renekton because of the cooldowns on them being slightly favored towards him. On the other side, though, as the game goes forward, you have to look at the scaling factor. The sustain that Aatrox gets from his ultimate is slightly more than what the Renekton gets. And as such, it makes the matchup more favorable for Aatrox as it goes on. But for now, it's always going to be Renekton favored. And as such, that CS lead is slowly going to continue to grow up topside. And this is what I like from XL. They're paying a visit to Shigenda, constantly reminding him that he is going to be threatened. And that's the difference here between these two teams. Maorang hasn't really been ganking or making too much this game. He's made one gank mid, and that got nothing too much as bot side. Okay. Let's watch this again, because this is quite interesting. So, Koi proxy farming the wave to continue to deny CS and essentially get turret plating. That turret is going to kill each and every minion, and because of where Koi is, it means XL either have to engage onto them to stop this play, or actually just lose everything. But Odo has come bot. He's reset, gone bot as his bot lane have gone top, with Xerxes shadowing them. Vitio now has roamed mid, and obviously his wave's pushed in. So he's probably going to been pinged missing in lane by Larson. And as such, what happens is Comp just has to deal with the Renekton. A flash from Odo to avoid the silence area and get on top with his Dominus means that he's able to force a cleanse out from Comp. The Starfall comes through, and the face call's used. It means Koi are having to burn everything here, because they think... I don't think they can kill him. I think they're just trying to continue to deny that and try and escape. Because as they see Ari arrive, it's a backtrack. He's either going to go execute to the turret, or he's going to try and go up here, because he knows technically that Vi's up topside. Everyone else for XL is topside. So it's just going to have to be an outplay from Comp here. So the stun comes through by Trimby. That's one slice through. He doesn't... Did he use 2 dices there? I'm intrigued where the second slice and dice gets used. Slice. He only used it once. That's a misplay if I've ever seen it. He only slices through once. Unless he didn't hit Comp with this first use of his E, he essentially lets the Callista escape. That's a misplay. And somehow they escape. I'm intrigued how he didn't get the kill there. I'm pretty sure he would have had use of the cooldown. But somehow he's still alive. So we watch it again. Yeah, good ward there. He does. Does he miss Soraka? Does he? No, he hits. So he does have the second E. Yeah, that's a yikes play overall from Odo. I thought he would have that cooldown. Unless he's fearing the Ren stacks being taken out. That's a bait of a flash. Good play. There by Larson. Now, plays slowing down. Already, Moonstone Renewer for Soraka. She has got 2 kills. Yeah, as expected. This is going to be a Hex Flash over the wall? No. What it is, however, is just the cat being harassive. It's very, very hard to deal with. Honestly, if you've played against Maokai in ARAM, the amount brushes get filled up by saplings is so annoying. So, 12 minutes on the clock, plates are falling in 2. Herald gets dropped mid lane. As a whole, VTO is going to probably benefit quite a bit from this. And as a whole, I think this play is a bit of a yikes overall. I'm actually just realized what I've named the stream. Haha. Wrong game, me. It's Koi versus yeah, apologies, I've only just realised. Save that. So, item-wise on the board, Mythics come through. Honestly, so this season we got the new item, or old new item, Rod of Ages, back in the game. It's intriguing to me, because I think you look at Larson as a player, this is an item built for him. He uses it so often. Rise, and even now Kassadin. So he's always going to favourite these scaling picks. I love this item on whatever he goes for, and honestly, it's going to make it hard for teams to deal with him. Now, he's just going to continue to scale up throughout the rest of the game, as XL actually are going to stop the dragon scaling from Koi. That's one thing we haven't seen too much of, is Dragon Soul going over to teams. And personally, that's a good steal there by Fishagander. And personally, I think that teams are gonna struggle to deal with these hard scaling picks as the season goes on. Because Rod of Ages obviously is very prevalent in the mid lane. You're either gonna go that or say Alludence. We have actually technically got a Neverfrost in this game, but meh? Oh. Chempunk Chainsaw Rush from the jungle. That's like I'm not a big fan of the rush of that item personally. I feel so I'm intrigued to know what the second item Vi will go for here. Is it going to be like the Eclipse or a full AD item? Or will she go for like a Frostborn Gauntlet and go a bit more bulky? Because you look at the rest of this XL draft, you personally need a lot more bulk to frontline, considering the fact that you're going to be dealing and diving in as like this main engage for XL. I personally think that the build should reflect that more so than this damage build that we have seen Vice go for with that Kempunk Rush. Now, Maorang as a whole, I need to look at his build. Only player on Rogue without a Mythic. In fact, now the only player without a completed item. I'm pretty sure he's probably sitting on quite a bit of gold, because he hasn't realistically backed in a while. I think he's looking to complete his jungle item, personally, right now. Or set up vision, because he's got so many saplings put down. But Rogue, I'm gonna keep calling him Rogue. I hate doing it. Koi, doing what Koi do, scoring for themselves turrets. As mid lane, the damage coming out from both Shigenda and Patrick was huge there. Okay, that's Herald over to Koi. The Ren stacks are just going to make that enough. Maorang's probably going to flank with his ult. That's a bad position for XL, because there it comes. Oh, the silence! Yeah, that's a dead VTO. Perfect from Trimby. Yeah, they're going to get out. But that was so lovely. That combo from Trimby and Maorang there, locking down VTO, means that it's just so easy to now punish. Maorang could, in theory, drop Herald mid. But he's not going to. Realistically, he should back. Oh, that's a dead Larson. He's gonna get away with... Never mind. Shigenda's gonna get... Never mind. That... Oh... Clean for XL. Okay, we need to watch this again. I need to break this down for you guys. So, what happens is... So, Larson doesn't know they're there. Fairly obvious. And what XL are doing are waiting for the ult from Larson. He either ults down the wave here to kill the minions, which means he's further away from safety, or he ults backwards expecting a play. Now, what we do see is this ult forward here, immediately they move. And so he's got to either flash the Q from Vi, which he doesn't need to because Vi limp dicks it, straight assault and battery, Renekton pops Dominus, and he's going to be stunned. He gets an ult away, or it was his flash and the bard's just not reflecting it. He gets locked up. He gets a little bit of a heal from this blessing from Soraka, trying to keep him alive long enough for the Aatrox to come through. It doesn't help. There's the flash, but Odo flash follows. Dead Larson. Aatrox comes in, blocks the Q escape from Xerxes, and it's Renekton versus Aatrox, a matchup that we can see down here, favors the Renekton right now. The item spike is slightly favorable, but what essentially is happening here, Shigenda is trying to just trade a kill. 2 for 1 maybe, or 1 for 1 and he can try and run away. But he doesn't hit the sweet spot with that Q, meaning Xerxes can flash this Q without too much of a threat. And in theory, if he actually hit the sweet spot on his Q originally, he probably would have got the kill. But now it's just a fully stacked up Renekton, able to slice him down. Pretty easy kill for Odo Omni. Now XL, we look at the map, have clawed back quite a bit of gold. They realistically shouldn't be down this much gold, considering what they've done. But they're getting gold. They've got a bit more tempo. They're pushing top. They just got mid-tier 1. Bot side should be pushed up once Odo is back to lane. But yeah, this is just fairly well played by XL. Just waiting for the Vaiku, waiting from the Casson ult. As soon as he does it, boom, charge forward, assault battery, easy lockup, stunned, so much damage, the Blade of Rune King charges, and boom, dead. Simple. Yep, lovely play out from XL here. Maybe a misplay from Shigenda there, trying to protect something that was already dead. But yeah, this is just going to be possibly another fight. Maorang playing very aggressive. He is going to secure that blue buff. Oh, he's not going to get away. Yeah, that was a bit greedy. Honestly, should not have been there. XL roaming straight for towards the Drake. Koi. Larson, a bit too aggressive. But yeah, tempo still favoring XL here. They've got themselves the gold lead finally. They're going to get themselves their second Drake. I don't see how XL throw this now. Though the gold is very, very close. It's not a massive ballooned gold lead just yet. And that makes me question how Koi have managed to get this gold lead. And you have to look at the CS advantages, mid and bot lane. That's where the gold is. Trimby is the one who's mainly benefited from 2 kills, which why he has an advantage over Nami. But the rest of Koi are somehow staying ahead. Now, I will say this, Maorang's been fairly quiet this game. He hasn't been super gank heavy. Though he hasn't had to be. Herald's dropped mid. It's gonna die. Just wasted it. Finally, everyone has a mythic. Except for Vi. Wow. Comp sitting atop on gold is quite huge. Patrick quite close to second. But damn it, that's 2k gold lead in the bot lane. Just because they managed to punish, get 1 kill onto him, and then essentially Comp was able to farm a lead. Ugh. So I've got this weird drink. Dark Berry Tango. Ugh, it tastes horrible. Baron start though. Koi know this is happening. They're gonna back off. Okay. Shigenda not even gonna waste TP. So map state wise, this is fairly standard with stalled out. This game's definitely going long until Drake. Right now, we're basically waiting for Drakes. That's the sad truth about this game, so I'm just gonna hit this button until we find action. Because right now, nothing seems to happen. XL control bot side. Koi control top. And they're just gonna flip-flop mid. So yeah. What we have seen though is Larson has slowly creeped to lead of 100 gold. It's not much, but he's slowly creeped it. And there you go. It's flipped. But now we've got a Baron play. And what's going to happen is Shigenda's going to TP in. That's the Maokai ult. Comes through. Tidal wave. Okay, we need to watch this fight again. But like, Odo, that's what I need to look at. Yeah. Yeah, let's watch this one again. So Koi start Baron. Immediately look at the TPs coming through. Odo's TPing, and the rest of XL here. Shigenda is TPing soon? No, he isn't even TPing. It's Larson who TPs. It's not even Odo that's TP'd. Now it's Shigenda, and now we should also see Odo. Look how far away Odo's TPing in. And you look at the rest of Koi, they're right on this. Maokai ult comes through, locks down one, which was VTO, who thought he'd probably have the Banshees to tank it, but he does not. And as such, he takes a stun. Now, 4 members of Koi are in the pit, with Trimby over the wall just healing them up. I knocked my mic. Good job, me. XL sitting in the river, looking to just contest. The Baron isn't really the threat here from Koi. They just want to fight. Gonna be honest, that Baron is very slow right now. It's not coming through. Nami stun gets avoided here by Larson using the stopwatch. And so, because he's gone into status, Koi are kind of forced to fight to keep their mid laner away from Odo. Instead, stun hits onto Shigenda. Flash comes through from Larson to get away from him. And then boom. Odo is now caught in the chains and is forced to flash away. He flashes kind of bizarrely, in my opinion. Instead of flashing back to his team, he flashes to the side towards Comp, who, if you don't know, if you see on the right side of the screen over here, has used his Fate's Call, and boom, Trimby thrown into him. That's knocked up into the air. Renekton, who's unable to use abilities. Boom, follow up from Mao, stunning him down, heal from Soraka, and that's just essentially engage for engage. And actually a big play out from Shigenda there. Q3 onto Xerxes stops the knock-up. Odo gets taken low as, just watch, Comp goes forward, hella aggressive onto him to try and force him down. That's way too far forward. Look where he is. Status for status. But Q being charged from Xerxes expects, oh, I can throw it here. Hit Comp. He does not. He instead barely clips Malrang. But it's a trade for 1-for-1. Fed top laner, who had an 800 gold bounty given over to Kalista for jungler. Now it's just going to be Kassadin coming through. Because once Vi and Renekton, the two people meant to dive into the backside, die, you look at the rest of this XL squad. Ahri has dashes to try and prance around the opposition. She can't really do that here, so instead she's probably going to use them to escape. If not, she's already used them, and she's going to die. On the other side, Lucian only has one dash. He's definitely used it already. And then Nami has nothing. Maybe a speed up from me. Other side of the rift, you got a Kassadin, who's level 16. The timer has been hit, and he's just going to go immediately forward. That's one dash. There's a second dash. Lands the E for slow. Onto Patrick is the main target. The silence gets put down. He's unable to dash away, which means that Larson just immediately jumps on him. Then the dash comes through because he can finally use it. And then boom, dead. Double kill over to Larson. Shigenda's already on top of the Ahri. Landing the Qs. Bye, Ahri. And then it's just spears being pulled out. Easy ace for Koi. And as a whole, that was overall very good play from Koi there. Turning onto Odo, stopping him from doing basically anything. Comp positioning may have been a bit of an issue there, but as a whole, it was a good play for them to secure this. Now, Baron should be secured. Comp's stacked enough spears into that. That should definitely be a Baron. But watch this. Lovely sapling there. Just to proc the Banshees. Yeah, so basically everything that happens. Vi got hit by the Soraka's silence as well. Didn't see that first time. As a whole, if we were still doing teamfight breakdowns, I definitely would have done this fight because it's actually intriguing. So here comes another one. Malrang. Don't know what he was doing there. Odo's got on top of Comp, but Comp's just able to side-wipe him. Yeah. Down goes Odo. Koya just punishing him this game. Larson has to chase down. Yeah, good night. What's interesting is Larson doesn't have any, extra mana in his kit. Actually, wait, what am I on about? He has Saros. That's what I'm on about thinking. I was thinking he didn't have a tier, but he actually has the Saros fully upgraded. Which means he's got a lot of mana. But good play there from Koi. They are going to stop the dragon. Which they should realistically turn back to right now to actually secure that for themselves. That fight there was just targeting from Koi. Immediate focus onto Odo. We'll watch it again. So Malrang, way too aggressive. Using the ult, just walks forward, thinks, oh, I can get in. He cannot. Instead, Comp comes from the side, immediately focusing Renekton. Ooh, didn't actually see Patrick taken out there by Shigenda and Larson. But you just look, the spear's getting thrown out by the Kalista. Face call, locks them up. Good plays overall from Koi here. they're in this late game where they actually do work. Alright. Just mowering things. He's playing very aggressive this game. It's funny. Baron is on the side of Koi. Got it for another 10 seconds. They actually haven't used it too much in terms of getting themselves pressure on the map, because they've only gotten, what, one turret from it? It's not been that big of a bank breaker of a buff, but Comp just playing very aggressive here. Yeah, that's Baron over. So, Koi get 4k from it. Not much else as a whole. This was kind of wasted, I would say. So, yeah. We're going to probably slow down for a few seconds. Drake finally being taken. Them saplings are very hard to deal with. Mawang's probably going to throw another over. There you go. It means that Xerxes just can't go in and find it. Banshees? Not going to be propped there. So. Late game obviously favors Koi. You've got the castle win. You've got an Aatrox. The rest of the team falls off a little bit in comparison to Excel. But right now, I'd say this is the strongest point for Koi in terms of team fighting. It's very hard to deal with this Kassadin, especially now he's got a blue buff. Odo thankfully didn't dash into that wave. But looking at pressure on the map right now, Koi, hard focusing bot, trading mid lane, it's kind of the flip-flop. And then topside slowly pushing for XL into Rogue Tier 2. And what I think we might see is VTO with Xerxes roam up to this top wave, get that pushed in, and then try and get some more pressure on the map. Because right now, Koi are kind of having to hover around Shigenda to make sure if Odo goes aggressive, they can jump on him immediately. Baron, 30 seconds away. Should be where we see, I would say, the game-winning fight. It's kind of hard not to see that because these two teams are so far in and they're very weak. Kassadin. Good dodge on the charm. Xerxes quite far away. He's spotted by the sapling. They're going to walk into another sapling. Xerxes is on the flank. He's spotted. Can't get in just yet. He's in the pit. Baron stolen. But okay. Oh, lovely silence there. Wow. What a steal. We'll probably get a replay. We'll talk about it there. But we saw where Xerxes went. It just amazed me he was still able to get in the pit. Personally, if I was Shigenda, I would have gone over and met him and tried and stopped him from getting in. That would have been probably the best play. Or Larson. But you just watch. So he gets in. Okay. Koi, all of them are here, focusing the Baron. And you've got Shigenda and Larson back here. They're backing up to try and fight. Shigenda goes in, knocking up with Larson. which is arguably, I think, Patrick there. But Blast Cone in. Wave hits Baron. Oh, the wave. Wave knocking up Maorang. Into the Q from Ari. Smite. Oh, the Q was through me the Baron. Oh, that was lovely. Good play. That's definitely a yikes from Koi. Allowing the Vi to get in pretty easily. There was also Ren. Oh, that's so unlucky. If you're Koi. Something you definitely need to work on is your actual objectives curing. But this does technically mean XL are still alive. The Baron buff only plus 400. Koi still have map pressure, is what we're learning. But what I think we'll see is Koi having to be taken up to the top side and map here to deal with Odo. He's got the Baron buff. He's going to try and secure this tier 2. The rest of the map is already forced and pushed out by Koi. Trimby face cold. Oh, that engage. Oh, lovely Soraka. How is he still alive? Okay. Topside Odo won the fight. Maorang, charmed, locked up, dead. Oh, lovely play there from VTO. The charm misses, but that's Larson locked up, dead. Shigenda's gonna get a kill. Charm, Everfrost, dead. Ace for XL. Okay. I've knocked my microphone out of its rack, but we'll watch this. Again, I'm gonna pause it quickly so I can fix my mic. I hate that this happens. Okay, so this fight as a whole, I've unplugged my keyboard. Let's discuss it once I get this back on. Okay. Microphone fixed. Sorta. Kinda. I need a new mic handle. Keyboard. The thing that I control the video with. Fixed. Okay, so we watch it. So, top side of the fight, it's going to be Larson and Shigenda versus Odo. Here, what we see is Trimby getting spoiled by the ward. So, Vi is channeling Q possibly to look in there. But look, instead, the silence comes through. Bit late. Patrick's already mentioned dash through. Q through. Onto comp. Face calls used. But it's just everything being thrown onto comp here by XL. Locking him down. Maorang got forced over the wall. Came back in. GA popped. It's just a lot of pile-on damage from XL in a 4v3. Simply put, it took 2 people to kill off Odo, which means the rest of XL just collapse and kills them. It's just charm after charm landing as well from VTO. Means that kills keep coming through and they're stacking them up. And then just watch this. Dash forward. Flash. Oh, lovely. But yeah, that's pretty clutch from XL getting the ace here as we go back to live. Drake is being contested. Stolen by Malrang and dead Odo again. Shigenda's got a flank. Patrick bursting out Trimby and Larson. Engaged back in, just flashing out by Larson. He was focused heavily by XL. They've got really no more abilities. XL using too much here. But yeah, Koi staying alive, doing well. I'm intrigued by this build from Soraka. Obviously, if you've played ARAM, you're used to the Warmog's second item. But Redemption came out. She's got a Warden's Mail. That, I forget what that turns into. But it's realistically not a Warmog's. So, look at the builds across the board here. Callista just picking up a QSS to go along that Rage Blade. That's very huge for her. Means that she isn't going to be... If she gets hit by a Namikyu or Charm, she's able to cleanse out of it. And what's more... Is it going to be Mikhail's? Is that what that Soraka item turns into? I forget. I'm trying to think. I don't remember what things build into anymore. Look how many QSSs are being picked up for Koi. Larson's got one and comp. Hex Flash. Forward. Patrick forced away. Baron on the table. Malrang this time looking to watch the flank, not allow Xerxes in. The ultimate, huge. The dive in. Vi's going in way too deep on her own. But XL gonna lose Trimby. That means no more healings on the board for them. The sustain's gone. But it's just Larson and Comp able to just trim through the front line of XL. 1-for-1, they're just falling. I'm not gonna see anything other than a win from this position for Koi. Just let's watch this again. So, Koi started up in full vision. Malrang has gone to side here, he's going to expect him to step up to this area. Once they do, he ults and looks to kill off either Targamas or Patrick. He sees them in the position he wants. Ult comes through. Odo realistically has to go up and tank it, as the culling is being channeled, means that no dashes or anything realistically being used by Lucian to keep himself alive. So Odo steps forward into Malrang, who gets rooted, and now we look at positioning of XL. Koi, 1, 2, 3, 4. There is also Soraka somewhere. No, Larson's somewhere. Where is he hiding? Oh, he stood right on top of Comp. So, once the Malrang ult goes through, there's nothing really to stop XL from engaging. So, Nami ult used here, this channel, to try and lock up Trimby, possibly hit off Comp, as Koi tried to turn on to Vitio. The Q is limped by the Vi, but Comp uses his Fate's Call, expecting the Vi to target him. And as such, once Vi uses the ultimate, into him she goes, Face Calls, knocked up in the air, Starcaller, Trimby is technically low, now that he's been used as kind of this weapon of mass destruction to lock up the Vi. But Patrick's there, pew pew, kills off the Trimby. Now you look at the Koi lineup. What sustain do they have? Other than, oh yeah, an Aatrox that heals for days. Boom. 1 kill traded over. Larson, I'm sorry for yawning, but Larson gets an IC, stopping the engage forward, and then it's just Excel. Instead of chasing the 3 carries of Koi, they turn onto Maorang. And because Maorang's able to Q Odo back into Larson, he's immediately the second target taken out. Third target, thanks to a lovely Q from Shigenda, is Patrick. And yeah, that's just easy kills for Koi after what I would say a bit of a difference in targeting from XL, as instead of focusing carries, they turn on to Maokai, and as such they're unable to get anything else. Now Koi... yeah, Koi are just going to chase and kill VTO. Easy kill. And level 18 Kassadin is all I need to say at this point. Good play overall from Koi at this late game. Bit of shaky mid, but they got here and took down the Nexus to win their second game of the split. Personally, draft always favored them, but I would have honestly have preferred maybe a bit more, I don't know, ganked early game to keep like pressure and tempo on Koi's side. They could have excelled the actual pace of the game to a point where Kassadin was just doing what he did in the end fight all game. That's just how I feel you should play that. Maorang, I think, fell behind early quite quickly and was kind of forced into this catch-up game. But in other sides of the coin, you would say, just continue to gangbang. Continue to try and get your team ahead. But he didn't, and as such, XL found an avenue back in, but it wasn't enough to keep them in the game. That's going to be it for this Teamfight Breakdown. Apologies for... it's not even Teamfight Breakdown, it's a VOD review. I apologize for taking a while to get through to a week 1 game. Week 2s will be streamed next weekend. Same time, same place. 2 PM, hopefully. And yeah, I'll see you guys for that next time. Peace out.